Folks, thanks for tuning into the Sleepy Keys Tingle Network today. We have a beautiful showcase of amazing chain jewelry. I'm calling it chains, chains of gold and gold tone. So it's a collection of gold and gold tone chain jewelry. I can't wait to show you a little bit more about each piece here, but I do want to catch up a little bit because it's been a minute. And I wanted to tell you, Bruce, in particular, because I know you're a film buff, about some of the movies I saw this weekend. Now, I was over in the Blockbuster, and I was looking for So I Married an Ex-Murderer. But I was over near Married, so, and then I wasn't sure what it was called, and I didn't want to ask the guy at the front because I didn't want to be judged. So I'm looking in the movies. I see a Married movie, but it's old-timey. So I said, well, maybe I'll get this one too. And it was called, not So I Married a Witch, just I Married a Witch. Now, this was old-timey, so it's black and white, okay, very like a film. And the basic synopsis of the story is that there was a lady witch and her dad, okay, and it's old-timey pilgrim days, way many hundreds of years ago. And I know it's old-timey pilgrim days because they said that, but also there was a fella in the hat with the buckle on it, and they were talking about, I guess, handing out popcorn, but they were calling it pop maize. I don't know exactly. But the popcorn was because they were gonna, how do I put this, end these witches, the lady witch and her dad, okay? Bad demise, okay? So many years pass, and the witches were put into like a tree. It was an oak tree. I'm not sure how that worked, but they're like, witch spirit was put into the tree, okay? And the witch and her dad witch, they wanted to put a curse on the family that made them see an untimely passing, okay? So they said, you'll never have true love, or something along those lines, something about love. Or they'll always marry the wrong person. I think that's what it was. And so they have a little montage of time passing, okay? And you see, you know, the son of the pilgrim fella, he marries the wrong lady, and she's just bad news. They're not having a good time. And then another, 50 some years passes, another relative in the family also marries the wrong person, and he's fighting with his spouse, okay? And then this goes on for centuries, okay? Then we get into present day, but it's actually the 1940s, so not present day today, but back then. And this always happens in films and movies. Lightning strikes the tree. And guess what happens? Their witch spirit is released into the form of smoke. So the witch and her dad, witch, are in present day 1940s. Okay? And they figure out a way to turn from smoke to then embody a human form again, somehow. And the lady witch embodies a human form, and she's lovely. And who is she played by? Oh my gosh. Lake. Somebody Lake. Forget her first name. Lovely lady. Great actress. But her name is Jennifer, which seems like a strange old-timey witch name to be named Jennifer, but I'm not. I guess that name's been around a long time. So anyways, Jennifer's trying to find the most recent heir, and it's a handsome young man who just happens to be running for governor of, it's not Salem, like Pilgrim, New England area somewhere. I don't know. So she wants to get this fella to fall in love with her so that she can have it be a bad time, be a bad wife, something along those lines. Okay. So then she said they set a building on fire, and she stages herself in the building so that this guy running for governor can then go in and save her. And she's being real nonchalant about the whole thing, like, oh, the building's burning, oh, I'll be fine. Because she's a witch and she knows where exits are and she can fly and do all this stuff. And honestly, there are some pretty good special effects given that this was, 1940s. There's brooms that are moving by themselves. You can kind of see a string, but not very well. But I think it was pretty good for the time. Anyway, the fella, he's actually already getting married the next day to some other broad. So he's like, no, I'm not interested. You're very pretty, but I'm not interested. And love isn't all about looks. So that was kind of part of it. So the lady witch, Jennifer, she's getting frustrated. And her dad and her make some kind of a potion, so like a love potion, because they have that sort of spell power. So they make the love potion, and Jennifer, the witch, accidentally drinks it instead of the fella who's supposed to drink it, the guy running for governor. And his last name's Woolley, I think. I forget the first name. Maybe Willy Woolley, something like that. It's silly. So he doesn't drink it, she drinks it, and now she's actually in love with this Woolley fella, the guy running for governor. But he's getting married next day. So, I don't want to spoil it for you, obviously, but the wedding comes up, okay? She's like, well, but I'm in love with this fella, so I'm going to go ruin the wedding. Just button in. Again, I don't want to ruin it for you, but maybe they end up together, maybe they don't. Maybe he marries the lady he's supposed to marry, who, I will tell you, she had a beautiful wedding dress. Now, this was like, I imagine, maybe it was the style of the time in the 40s, but the veil situation, it had 5, like, scalloped edges around the top, like a beautiful crown, and it was really something. So, again, the outfits and things in this film, great fashion, good special effects. Again, I don't want to ruin it for you, but it was really kind of a fun film, decent acting. Anyways, I don't want to spoil it. The wedding scene is lovely. Interesting story about love, and I guess running for governor. Fun special effects. And again, my favorite kind of story where there's always a storm. And then, something happens when the lightning strikes. So I like when that happens. Yeah, so that was I Married a Witch. So, again, that's old-timey black and white. And then I did find, so I Married an Ex-Murderer. Because that has that Mike Myers fella. Now, he's kind of funny. He does the, the Wayne's World. You know I'm talking about, Bruce. So, he's doing the Wayne's World thing, but this is a major motion picture that he's starring in, so good for him. But in this one, well, I don't want to spoil it, but he is a poet, I guess. He plays a fella, oh gosh, what's his name? Charlie. I think his name's Charlie. He's been in a lot of relationships and then has some issues with kind of trust and finds an excuse to end the relationship. Okay? And that can happen in relationships. I think that's pretty common. So, in this particular film, he comes across a lady. She's a lady butcher. Okay? She owns her own butcher shop, and they're in San Francisco. And I think one could say that San Francisco is a third main character because it's featured throughout different sceneries and landmarks and such. So she's a lady butcher in San Francisco, and he goes in to buy some haggis for his family dinner. Okay, he buys the haggis because his dad is actually Scottish. He comes from a Scottish family. Now, this is funny because you'll see in there. Maybe you saw some of the previews. The dad is also played by Mike Myers, so he's playing two characters. Yeah, it's like it's really something. And so he's got a thick Scottish accent. Anyway, so Mike Myers, Charlie in the film, he kind of has a crush on this lady butcher. Okay, so he is taking the haggis to dinner at the family's house. And then his mom, Charlie's mom, also Scottish, she's a fan of Weekly World News, aren't we all? So she is showing Charlie about how there's a story about a Mrs. X. That's what they're calling her, Mrs. X, where it's like a lady who's getting rid of her spouse after the honeymoon, okay? Scary stuff in the Weekly World News. And he's like, oh, that's funny. Then he goes out back to the butcher shop because he's got a crush on this lady butcher. Gosh, what is her name? Harriet. That's right. And I should mention too, Charlie is kind of a poet. Now I don't know if this is his job because I don't know how you'd make a living in San Francisco doing kind of an open mic night thing. You know, maybe once a week, whatever it was. I don't think they ever mention what his job is. So that I was wondering about the whole time. Because Harriet, she's a lady butcher. And then Charlie's best friend is a cop. And he wants his cop work to be more exciting. I don't want to spoil it for you, but he gets that wish. Anyways. So Charlie, again, maybe he's just a poet and that's how he gets by. Wouldn't that be nice? And he goes in to visit Harriet, the lady butcher, at the shop, and they're busy. They're having a very busy, it must be peak butcher meeting times. Must be a Saturday, is my guess. So he's like, oh, I can help out. So I guess it's okay with OSHA and food safety regulations for him to just hop in the back, you know, throw on an apron and then start using these very sharp machinery items like, you know, the carvers and all that and the sausage thing. It was a disgusting montage of Mike Myers joking around with meats. I was not a fan of it. Anyways, so that's kind of cutesy. So then the lady butcher, Harriet's like, oh yeah, let's go out for a date afterwards. Thanks for helping out. So they go out on a date, and he finds out that she knows some Russian. Then he goes back to her place, sees that she's got this martial arts collection up on the wall. And the mom, Charlie's mom, mentioned in the Weekly World News article that Mrs. X had dated a Russian martial arts expert. So he's starting to go, that's kind of fishy, right? Maybe, oh well. But it doesn't cloud his judgment enough to take their relationship to the next level, if you know what I mean. So then they start dating, seeing each other regularly. Charlie meets Harriet's sister. She's interesting, to say the least. And they get pretty serious. And then he's kind of finding some other interesting coincidences between the Mrs. X Weekly World News article situation and this Harriet that he's dating. So now he's starting to ask himself, I wonder if she's Mrs. X. I don't know, I wonder. And based on the title of the film, you can infer, So I Married an Axe Murderer. He's thinking that maybe he did. The relationship is a little bit, they hit a rough patch, okay? He makes up for it with what I would consider to be the world's goofiest poem, okay? But it's poetry with music. He's got this thing that he does with the jazz. So he's got the jazz musicians with the upright bass. Maybe the trumpet that has the thing on it. Bruce, what is that with the makes it quiet. Yeah. So, anyways, he gets his lady. He's gets the lady friend back, Harriet, the lady butcher. They get married. Excitement ensues for the cop friend relationship. Again, I don't want to spoil it for you, but maybe things aren't what they seem, but maybe they are. Okay. But it's kind of fun. There's some interesting characters in the film. I thought the Harriet person did a good job. And obviously Mike Myers had a whole lot of little quips. Now I imagine that Mike Myers was doing a lot of ad-libbing, making things up on the spot. That's kind of how it felt. And some of them were funny. Some of it was kind of, he says, hello. Yeah. Barbara's saying wrap it up. So anyways, instead of it being, a romantic comedy of a real will they, won't they, it was more of a is she, isn't she? And again, I'm not going to spoil it for you, but the only thing that I was left wondering by the end of the film was, what did he do for work? And they don't really solve that. So, anyways, okay, get on with it, Barbara says. Okay, yeah, a lot to show here, but I don't have a lot of time. So, I'm gonna start with the bracelet. This is the nicest piece in the set because this one is actually a 14 karat gold. And it's a 14 karat gold rope chain. Now, this rope chain is very versatile. It goes with anything. I've got my bangles on right now, but imagine if it was a beautiful, classy rope chain bracelet. Because of the shape, it really catches the light. So every time it kind of rolls around in this shape, it really sparkles and shines to show off that 14 karat gold color. I would say that this rope chain is, oh gosh, it's coming in at just about almost 7 inches. So that's a great value for this chain. And it fits most wrists. A little challenging to get on because you got to feed the clasp inside this end piece here. But once it's in there, it is secure. So you're not going to lose it because you don't want to lose this. Over to the herringbone next. Probably my favorite of all chain types. Herringbone. Because look at how it picks up that shine. Because it's flat, the facet of it really reflects a lot of light. It's almost too much light. If you're wearing it on a sunny day, it's going to be blinding. So just keep that in mind. Folks around you should probably have sunglasses on. And this has an easy lobster clasp to attach and detach the necklace. You can make it almost any size you like, up to 18 inches. So if it's a little bit more snugly, but you want to have it securely placed on the neckline so that it stays put and doesn't get bent out of shape. The thing about herringbone, it can get a little bent out of shape, so just be careful hanging it on your jewelry hanger organizer, putting it in a jewelry box, so that way you don't get any interesting little kinks in it that are hard to get out. So herringbone, gorgeous. Perhaps you can't choose which kind of chain you want. So you have 3 chains of varying lengths in this stacked chain necklace. This one's got a beautiful clasp on it. Looks like a butterfly. Easy to take on and off. And it's got a substantial length to it. This one is made up of a number of different cables. Okay. So you've got pretty small cable through here, and then a teeny tiny cable, and then a larger cable at the bottom. So they're varying lengths. They're already split up nicely, so they sit nicely. They don't look all tangled upon the neck. So if you want to wear 3 chains, why not just wear 3 in one? Okay, that's what this necklace is great for. Now this one and the herringbone are both gold toned. Okay, so they are not 14 karat like the bracelet is, but they still look lovely, don't they? So it doesn't have to be your fanciest gold jewelry. It can be gold tone and still have a really gorgeous, classy effect. Okay. Again, these go with anything. They look obviously really great with a crushed sort of velvet, a black velvet. But they work well with other colors, Hawaiian shirts, reds, greens, yellows, and golds. It's a little tricky, but it can work. It can work. We also have a tiny little cable ring. This one is also gold tone. So you can wear this in the pool if you want. It's okay. It's no fuss. It comes in sizes 5 through 8. So it can fit pretty much any finger upon any hand. Doesn't quite work on the thumb, but again, very versatile. Goes great with the other gold tone items. Oh gosh, and then what else do we have? I think we have a curb, right? Yes, the big curb chain. This one is a Monet piece, gold tone Monet, and this one is substantial. Actually weighs quite a bit, but it won't weigh down your neck. And it's a curb. We don't have a Figaro chain in the set. That's where you'd have the big one and then the 3 small ones. I guess it's kind of like the song Figaro, Figaro. 1, 2, 3, big one, 1, 2, 3, smaller. But this is a lovely chain. Okay, this one's great for daytime over a turtleneck, or maybe something a little more evening with a V-neck or cowl neck to really show off the chain. Maybe not having it over top of a fabric. Lovely chain. Got the big curb chain here. Now I don't even know how this one opens. I'm looking at it. I thought I saw Monet. Oh, here it is. Clasp here. So this one's easy. You just take that part off, feed it through, close it up. You're done. Again, not a Figaro chain, curb, herringbone, different sort of cables in here. We've got the rope bracelet. Oh, and that leaves us with this is my everyday. Having a good snake chain. Okay. This one has, I think it's a delicate feel. It sits nicely upon the neck. It's very comfortable. It's got some movement to it, but it still has that gorgeous gold tone shine. You can see in here, because it's the snake style, it's a very fine sort of link pattern in between here. And I guess what can happen, especially with the herringbone and snake, it might get caught in your hair, okay? Just a little bit. So every once in a while, you're gonna have to pull a little caught hair out of the chain, and it's okay. It still works great. Just comes along with the territory of wearing a gorgeous necklace. Okay, maybe not as much for the bracelet. Might get caught in your hair too, but I haven't had that happen since wearing this. So folks, that's our collection. It is our chains of gold on the Sleepy Keys Tingle Network. You've got the ring, the bracelet, 14 karat. So that's why this one's going to be a little pricey. And then you've got the snake chain, gorgeous everyday wear, easy. You've got the big curb chain here, packs a punch, that's for sure, by Monet. And probably my other favorite, the herringbone. You've got to have a herringbone piece in your collection, whether it's silver or gold. And maybe you're more of a silver person, but give it a try. Go out on a limb. Try some gold juice, gold tones, herringbone, and then the 3 stacked together, 3 necklaces in one right here. And these are the different cables. So you have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 jewelry pieces in total. Yours today for the low price of $199.99. This is a whole gold tone and gold jewelry wardrobe that you're going to want to call the Sleepy Keys Tingle Network for today. Okay, Barbara says we're out of time. Sorry I talked so much about the movies. Just wanted to catch up a little bit, let you know what I saw. All right, we hope to hear from you soon.